Welcome back to MWorks. Today I want to talk to you about what I think is the least sexy part of the mastering job. In fact, it's the part of the mastering job that most people don't even consider, don't even think about. But to my way of thinking, it's at least half of the gig. And that is getting all the metadata right. Any information that's included in a program, whether it's for a download or for creating a disk, that's not the program itself. Okay, like track IDs, start and stop IDs, something called ISRC codes, UPC codes, CD text information. There's all kinds of metadata. And one of the things that the mastering engineer is responsible for and capable of is including all of that information in a master that's going to go out for distribution into the world. So the ISRC code is a number that gets allocated to every publisher, an artist, record label, anybody that is responsible or owns a catalog of music. And that number is registered in the United States with the RIAA, in Europe with GEMA. I'm not sure what covers South America and Asia. It may be that they're referring back to the same database, but you can look that up. And that code is a unique identifier that gets attached to every single piece of music. So if you had a record CD with 12 songs, every one of those songs would have its own ISRC code. The way that that gets used is that any time that music gets played over the air or is downloaded, that code, that identifier is logged, and the download is logged, and then if you're supposed to get paid for that download or if you're supposed to get paid for the broadcast of your music, that's the thing that will cause the payment to come back to the artist or to the record label. So it's not a bad idea when you go into a mastering session to at least understand this and talk to them about applying the ISRC codes to the master, but even better, if you take a look at the link that accompanies this post, you'll see a link to the RIAA website where you can register and get your own ISRC codes, and that way when you go into the mastering session, you'll have them all ready to go. That's a number that's assigned to a particular product. Traditionally, it's been a physical item. You know, you see a box of cereal in a grocery store. It's got a UPC code on it that's used to scan at the checkout to identify what that product is. The same with CDs or DVDs. But they're also used sometimes to track downloads. So a UPC code is something you might want to register and include as part of the metadata that goes out with your product. So if you're mixing a record, and there's a little dropout, a click or a pop or something like that, there's still another step downstream, namely the mastering process, where you can catch something like that and fix it. For the mastering engineer, there is no safety downstream. The mastering engineer is the final step in the process. So one of the things that the mastering engineer is going to give you is some assurance and insurance that there's no problem with the audio, that when it goes out to being duplicated, you're not going to end up with 5,000 coasters because there's a dropout and they have to re-replicate because somebody made a mistake. So, like I said, it's not so much about, it's not the sexiest part of the job. It's not the part of the job about making something sound better, but it's making sure that whatever it is that you've got is going to work. And to my way of thinking, that's equally important.